Is the big story post-Brexit that the UK is just destined to become a messy, multi-party democracy with coalition governments coming together and falling apart? Or having now seen the peak of Farage and reform, is there an opportunity for the major two centrist parties to come back and see post-Brexit business as usual?
I think there is a real opportunity. I mean, we have like an American electoral system, a first past the post system, which favors incumbent parties. And if these parties can consolidate enough and reform fall away, we would quite quickly, the electoral mathematics will return us back to something that looks like old-fashioned two-party politics. And populism in Britain has, over the last 20 years, tended never quite to peak in the normal European model. So that is a real possibility. I mean, I think there's a bigger issue, though, for countries like Britain. And I'd say I'd put France and Germany and Japan and South Korea and Canada and Australia into this camp, which is the big geostrategic question is, can they really create this alliance of middle powers, which Mark Carney's talking about? Is it really feasible to imagine that they're not just going to get themselves stuck between the rock of the United States and the hard place of China? And the big change since 2016 has been that the default setting, which would be, of course, we're on the US side against China, has been shaken very, very dramatically. Shaken by Trump's threats against Greenland, threatened by his threats to withdraw from NATO, threatened by his disabling our access to frontier AI systems, to the general humiliations and tariffs and attacks against what formerly would have been Western allies. So these are countries that are never going to trust the US structures and systems again in the way that they once did. The US will be betting, and you hear this from Vance and Marco Rubio, that these countries are too weak and too inept to be able to foster an alternative to the United States. So that the narrative that we hear, we effectively feel like an abused partner. We feel like we've got some husband saying to us, yeah, you may not like it, I may beat you up, but you're never going to leave because you can't afford to set up your own house, so you just got to suck it up. And I think we're underestimating the sense of rage and political humiliation, which may well actually drive Britain and these other middle powers and the European Union to do something which J.D. Vance and Rubio thinks will never happen, which is to try to develop genuine strategic autonomy away from the United States. So I think the big story of the next 2-3 years from Britain is the question of sovereignty.